Hello and welcome back to another great video. So today we are going to build a REST API that accepts different file types. So for example, like PDF, like CSV or maybe Excel or XML files as an input through its body, right? And we are going to do this using Spring Boot and Java. So let us dive into it. So here you can see on the screen we are on Spring Initializer. So Spring Initializer is basically a website that lets you generate a basic Spring Boot project. So let us go and create one. You can see in the dependencies I have already added Spring Web as a dependency. So Spring Web is a Maven dependency that lets you build RESTful APIs, comes with all the annotations that will help you out for the same, as well as comes with an embedded Apache Tomcat server, which lets you deploy the REST APIs that you have created. So that is the one and only thing that we will be needing in terms of a Maven dependency in the project. So just go and add it in the dependencies and hit generate, right? So once you hit generate, you will see that a zip file has been downloaded in your computer. So that zip file is basically your Spring Boot project. Now the next thing you need to do is extract that zip file. Once you extract it, then use any of your favorite IDE. I personally like to use Eclipse for Spring Boot projects, so I'll be using that and import the particular project into your favorite IDE. So here Here you can see that I already have imported the vertical project in my Eclipse IDE. So we can just go ahead and get started with the code. Before starting with the code, go to your pom.xml once, right? And hit Ctrl S. Once you do that, all the respective dependencies that are required for a project will be downloaded and installed in your particular project so that you are ready to go. Okay, so once everything is downloaded and the build is successful, just then we can start creating our REST APIs. So when building REST APIs in Spring Boot, one important thing are controllers. So what is a controller? A controller is a file that contains all your different REST APIs. It is basically a class that contains all your different REST APIs. It may be get, post, put, delete, or whatever you want. Okay. So to hold these controllers, I'll create a package called controllers. All right. So you can see now a package has been created called controllers. Inside this package, I'll create a new class called yeah, let us just call it a demo controller. Okay, finish. For those who don't use Eclipse that much, you just have to basically right click on the particular package, go to new and click on package or class or whatever you want, and it will create the particular thing inside that package. Okay, anyway, coming back to our controller. So first things first you need to tag the particular class as a controller class, right? To do that, there's an annotation that Spring Boot provide called @rest controller. Okay, hit control space to import the particular library or the package that has this class. So you can see here org.springboot.web.bind.annotation contains the particular REST controller. So just click on that and you can see the particular yeah, the particular path was imported and the annotation is ready to go. So now we have told this particular class contains REST API to our Spring Boot project. The next thing we need to do is build our post API, right? So to build our post API, you first need to write the logic for it. Not the whole logic, but you need a method that will hold the logic for the post API. So let us create one. So I have just created a public void upload file, I guess. Yeah, sounds about right. Okay, now we have a empty method that will hold our logic for post API. Okay, so post API logic. All right. Now we need to tag this particular method that as a post API method, a post API logic. Do that. I am going to use another annotation called post mapping. All right. So here you can see that I have added another annotation called post mapping to the project. Now post mapping accepts two important variables, two important fields that we need to set, right? So one of them is value. So what is a value? A value is basically the path or the URL of the particular API. So I'm going to use slash upload as the URL for the particular for hitting the particular API. The second and the important thing that should be provided is consumes. All right. So what is consumes? Consumes is basically we are telling what type of input file will the post API accept. Okay. So to do that, we need to use a class called media type. Right. Now there will be several media types you will be seeing. You need to choose org.springboot.http because this is the one that will provide us with further classes that we need or further enums that we need anyway. So hit the media type. You can see springboot.http spring framework.http has given us a class called media type, and media type, if you click on dot, you will see that there are several media types supported, right? What we need is multi-part form data. Okay, so what exactly is multi-part form data? Multi-part form data is basically your file coming in multiple parts as an input to the post API. That is why it is called as multi-part form data. Okay, so hmm, multi-part form data value, by the way, a mistake on my side. So now we have set up the post API mapping and everything. Another important thing that makes the particular flow complete is whatever information you get through the body of the post API, you need to put it into some variable to communicate with it, right? Now, to do that, Spring Boot comes with an annotation called request param, right? So request param, and then you use a class called multi-part file, since it's a multi-part file, right? So basically any file that we provide as an input will basically go inside this particular class, the multi-part file variable called file, and then we can communicate with the particular file, do operations on it using file. Now, why did we use multi-part file? Because multi-part file already comes with a lot of operations and methods and behaviors that we can interact with and create basically do operations on the particular file that we have kept inside. Okay, Now the last thing we need to do is we need some kind of assurance that the particular file was received. So let us do something simple like printing out the file name. Okay. So to do that, file dot get original file name. Okay. So this should tell you the particular file name. Now if you want something else, maybe you can also print out the file type if you want. So let us do that as well, just for assurance. File dot get content type. Okay, this should be good enough according to me. So now we have created our controller, we have created our post API, and we have all that inside our Spring Boot project. The only thing that remains is we need to start the particular project. So to do that, just go to your root package, that is com.example.demo. Inside that you will find demo application, the one and only class that contains the Spring application.run. Just go to that class, right click on it, go to run as, and click on Java application. Once you do that, it will start a Spring Boot project. You can see the particular project is getting started, and within seconds the project should be ready to go. So you can see that it has started the demo application in 5 seconds, and the Tomcat server is on port 8080, right? So now how do we send an API request to the particular API we just created? So to do that, you need something called Postman. Okay, so let us go to my Postman software. Okay, so here you can see the particular, I've created basically a blank request. So let us just create one more for your sake, right? Just go to new, go to HTTP, and here you have a new HTTP request or a blank request basically. So here you go and select the request type as post because we have created a post API. In the URL, you will need something like this: http localhost / localhost 8080 / upload. So if you remember right, this was our path, and basically this represents your local host and the default port 8080. Okay, now in the body you need to choose form data because we are using multi-part form data as an input type. In the key you can name anything, but I will be using a key called file and select a type as file. Okay, in the values you need to upload a new file from your local machine. So I have already uploaded something, that is my broadband bill, so I will go ahead with that. Okay, so you can see the particular file has been uploaded by me and the rest all body has been specified. So the one and last thing, just hit send and you should be good to go. So you can see I have hit send. Depending on your file size, it can take some time. Yeah, okay, so larger file will take larger time, smaller file will be very quick because the file needs to get uploaded through the API. Yeah, so you can see now I have received a 200 OK signal. That means the request has been successful. So let us go back to our Eclipse to see whether the particular project is working or not. So here on Eclipse we can see that a particular file name and file type has been specified, right? So you can see the broadband phone bill 1.pdf and application / pdf. So yeah, so that's it for the project, and we have successfully created a post API that accepts a file as an input. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment down below. Subscribe to my channel and all the good stuff. All right, adios.